Former California Republican Congressman and former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy knows a thing or two about the ritual of the State of the Union. Here is his welcome to President Biden in 2023, and I'm happy to say former Speaker McCarthy joins me now. Great to have you here. Thanks.
Great to be here.
So, what would you say is the political terrain surrounding President Trump tonight, and can he use this speech to change it?
Yes. I mean,
what's the terrain around him?
Well, look, he's got a year in. He's got some real successes, but if you look at the political climate, it looks a little like 2018. And historically, usually you lose the House. So how do you go out, sell your victories, and be optimistic about the future of why you should continue to govern? So that's a tough place to be, but you own the narrative tonight. Tonight is the prom. It's the Super Bowl, right? Both sides go and try to make their play, but he owns it because he gets to speak. He gets to determine what is said.
Is there a sell-by date on blaming President Biden?
Yes, but the one thing I would tell you is showing a contrast has people to remember, right? I always believe presidential years are aspirational and off-year elections are a report card. So people are going to judge, did you do what you said you were going to do? And the thing is, he's done a great deal, but did you celebrate him, right? You've secured the border. Look what was happening in Puerto Vallarta this weekend. He's 100% right. The cartel's running wild, okay? But did he ever go back down to the border and celebrate what he had done and remind people what is it today? Because you forget in the past.
Not only that, but there is a considerable amount of polling data that shows people have turned the corner on immigration away from the president because of interior enforcement, not the border.
Yeah, and this is a time to sit there. But look, he brought Tom Holman in. He quieted that down. You've got still time to fix that as you go forward. And you want to be able to go that. The economy, you want to remind people that inflation's hard to bring down, but he's done a pretty good job at that. Your prices are low. Show what you've done in the pharmaceuticals. We're the safest we've been since 1900, right? But you've got to remind people of it, because it's how people feel. You can have all these data points, but if they don't feel the same way, you're not good.
When you were Speaker, was it a requirement if members asked you that they attend this address, even if it was the president of another party meeting? There'll be like 30 or 40 or 50 House and Senate Democrats who are not going to be there tonight. How do you regard that?
They're wrong. And look, I tell my members when it's not, and I've been to 20 of these
State of the Unions.
And for a long period of time, I was the escort because I was the majority leader and the majority leader. So I would walk with the president, whether they're in my party or not, spend the time with them before. It's big to any member in here because you get one ticket, you invite the most important person in your district, or you're trying to illustrate something that you're working on. Be an issue, and you bring that person in. It's excitement. The room looks different. They start cooling it down. There's more lights. People stand up, sit down. And from a speaker's point of view, it's different than anybody else. You can hear what everybody says. The crowd, it doesn't pick up on TV, but you see them and you hear them. You're trying to calm them down. They don't realize because they get emotional at that time. Mm-hmm. I've been there where one member stood up and said, "You lie," but the whole crowd was quiet at the time so everybody could hear it. Or there's members that want attention. You get them on both sides of the aisle. Mm-hmm. They wait to try to get that center row just so they can be on TV. You're trying to make sure your members aren't embarrassing, and you want to make sure that you're respectful. Remember, we're coming off the Olympics. This is the 250th anniversary. You can applaud even though the president's of a different party, but he's talking about something that's moving the country forward. I think the country likes that when they see us all together.
And it is an American experience writ large on the floor of the House of Representatives. Let me ask you about something, because you dealt with some very difficult issues internally within the House Republican Conference when you were Speaker. Tony Gonzalez has faced several calls this week to resign. Why? Because Regina Santos Aviles, who was in his employ, says she had an affair with him. She committed suicide. She set herself on fire in shame over this. Gonzalez continues to say he's not going to resign, that the Ethics Committee will handle this. How do you regard this situation?
You know, Congress is a microcosm of society. You have good and bad in every place. It's just like a
Should he resign?
Yes, he should. And look, I think
Fred Upton was on my show last night and said it's very clear. You have any kind of sexual relation with someone in your employ, you're out.
Well, look, if this was in a business, he would have been fired. If you have this knowledge, how do you endorse him? If you didn't know that knowledge and you do now, how do you stay quiet? This young lady committed suicide. It's devastating what has transpired here. She worked for him, and if you look at these emails today, she literally says, "Boss, this is too much." She asked,
"It feels very bad.
Did you pick me?" He said, "I knew you from the chamber." I mean, this is unacceptable. But this is where the leaders of the conference, we would have to step in. You step in these situations to protect
Is something
everybody
missing
else.
right now at the leadership level?
Look, I'm not there, but there are situations I had to deal with, from Steve King to others from North Carolina. And
Madison Cawthorn, Matt Gaetz?
yeah. Well, Matt Gaetz made a motion to remove me from Speaker because he wanted me to step in to the ethics report and try to change it, and I would not. I would sacrifice my job because you've got to be able to have a new standard.
Very quickly, before I let you go, do you expect the president tonight to look down on that well to the House Republicans and Senate Republicans and say, I'm going to send you tariffs and I want you to use the reconciliation, which is a simple majority in both chambers, to codify what the Supreme Court just nullified?
He could. I mean, he's made a very...
Would that be shrewd?
Yeah, he's made a very strong case about this. I think he has a lot of members who were opposed to tariffs, but actually watch what has transpired in this last little bit to show, hey, it's made more investment in America. It's made us stronger. I think he could win a vote on a simple party line. The question is, could they get there? They're having a hard time passing anything. I mean, look, I watched last year that in 3 weeks, they passed more discharge petitions than they did in 30 years. That's not a good sign for the majority party to turn the floor over to Democrats.
Right, because that's the opposition party running the floor against the House leadership, which is never a good sign for a majority, no matter what its size. Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, always a pleasure, sir.
I'm glad. I'm looking forward. 2 more times I get a robe.
You get a robe.